Chapter 5, the law of karma, good and bad, continue. In regard to the law of karma, there are two levels of intention, cetana. First, there is an intention accompanied by an adherence to social prescription, which manifests, for example, as beliefs or values. And secondly, there is an intention, cetana, to either observe or to disobey a prescription at a particular moment in time. In any case, the reaping of karmic fruits begins immediately at once, as they established in cetana. So whatever your intention is, the karmic fruits is initiated right away. Take, for example, a person who reveals in drinking alcohol. While drinking, his intention will be accompanied by a dim-witted form of delight. If he drinks regularly, he will develop this state of mind as an habitual disposition. When someone who is frantically vying to obtain things engaged in work, his intention will be accompanied by stress and desperation, which will become habitual features of his mind. Although someone who is determined to kill others may be praised and rewarded by his society, at the same time, his intention is accompanied by malice, cruelty, or by wild ambition. If he frequently indulges in such killings, these states of mind may develop into a form, his entire personality. The quality of his mind will become coarser, and he will lose its refinement, subtlety, and tenderness. Here, the term intention, cetana, should be inspected more closely. In the Tipitaka, in the Pali Canon of the Buddhadhamma, the meaning of the term cetana is more subtle, refined, than the meaning of intention in English. Generally speaking, the term intention in English is used when one wishes to link internal deliberations and external actions. For example, people may say he had a slip of the tongue. He didn't intend to say that. Or she acted intentionally. In the Dhamma Vinaya, or in the Dhamma Ati Dhamma teachings, according to the principle of karma, however, cetana, deliberate speech, physical actions and thoughts, memories and recollections, emotional responses to these things perceived by way of the five senses, no matter how minor or temporary, are all accompanied by cetana. This is chapter 5 of Buddhadhamma, page 425. Cetana thus refers to volition, purpose, and deliberation, to selecting the objects for attention. Cetana is the principal factor for steering and activating the mind, which then inclines towards or turns away from things or pursues a specific direction. Cetana is the leader, director, and governor of the mind, determining how one relates to various things. Cetana shapes the course of the mind and in its conditions one particular state of mind. Cetana, when arises, karma manifests. When karma manifests, it produces immediate effects. Because with the arising of cetana, the mind becomes active. There is mental activity, even in the case of the minor. Fleeting thoughts which do not bear any significant fruit, they still have an effect. At the very least, they constitute a form of fine karmic dust that accumulates in the mind and affects its properties. When it is increased, for instance, when the mind resorts to these thoughts frequently, or when they intensify and are expressed as outward actions, their effects becomes more pronounced, developing into a person's habits and personality. Take, for example, of harmful deeds. One need not examine an action as dire as killing other people, even damaging something of very little value, if performed with malicious intent or a mind of anger, say tearing up a piece of useless paper out of irritation, has an effect on the quality of the mind. It is not the same as someone tearing up an unneeded paper with an ordinary state of mind. When one performs a volitional action repeatedly, the effects of his karmic accumulation becomes more observed and may gradually magnify in scope. Buddhadhamma, Section 3, Process of Life, Chapter 5, The Law of Karma, page 426. This is similar to the dust setting in the room, in a way unnoticed by the persons living there. All volitional actions bear some kind of fruit, apart from the amount and the potency of the karmic effects accumulated. The level of their importance is also related to the specific quality and function of the mind. There needs to be plenty of dust on the world before it is considered to be filthy. A lesser amount of dust on the floor of a living room is considered to be dirty. An amount less than that on the surface of the desk is considered unclean and may disturb the persons working there. A small amount of dust on a mirror soils it and diminishes its usefulness. And a minuscule amount of dust on a pair of glasses is not noticeable and blurs one vision. A similar analogy is that of using a knife to scrape a road surface, a floor in the house, or a pair of glasses, respectively. Reverse similes also apply. Compare using a small velvet cloth or a wad of cotton wool to wipe a floor, in contrast to using it to clean a pair of glasses. No intentional action is fruitless, which is summed up by these Buddhist saying, quote, all accumulated deeds, both good and bad, bear fruit. Actions marked as kamma, even trifling ones, are not void of result. Neither good nor bad deeds are performed in vain. Unquote. People tend to overlook the importance of subtle effects of volitional action at the level of the mind. Here are two more similes to help clarify this matter. Quote, there are many different degrees of clean and dirty water. Marsh water, river water, tap water, and distilled water. Marsh water may be used as a habitat for various creatures, but it is not suitable for bathing, drinking, or other more refined purposes. River water is suitable for bathing and washing cloth, but perhaps it's not suitable for drinking. Tap water may be used for drinking, but it's not not for intravenous injections. For ordinary purposes, tap water is adequate for people's overall needs. But if one is faced with special circumstances, it is insufficient. Dissimilar to differences in the quality of mind. In terms of varying degrees of coarseness and subtlety, turbidity and brightness due to the actions performed and accumulated during much of one's life, one may not feel there is a problem with mediocre or relatively coarse of mind. But later on, one may be faced with a situation calling for more refined states of mind. One accumulated actions in the past may cause problems. One habitual state of mind may be inadequate for the circumstances. Indeed, it may even be completely dysfunctional. Water may exist in various degrees of undulation or stillness, surging ocean wells, small waves, or river due to the passing of a motorboat. a trickling stream, a tranquil pond, and utterly still water in a vessel. In some cases, one may be able to make use of undulating water, but in other cases, they may need the water to be so still that one is able to float a needle on the surface. This is similar to the quality of mind, either coarse or refined, which is relevant to one specific mental application and to the arriving of exceptional states attainable by human beings. Conventional laws, samma sati niyama,